I think we need to have a level playing field for people who are promulgating information into the marketplace. I think what you want, ideally, if you're trying to promote information that's going to lead to better value, better decisions about, the economic implications of using one product over another, you want a vigorous information environment. So that means you want all actors who could bring forth truthful, non-misleading information into that environment to be able to speak about the results of studies. I think what we have right now is an environment where there are restrictions depending on who the speaker is, rather than restrictions on the quality of the speech. And so if the speech meets a certain quality, and I think the standard is whether or not it's truthful, not misleading. I think if you're going to speak about results of studies, those results in the speech should be truthful and non-misleading. But if it meets that standard, I think it's wholly appropriate to be able to speak about the results of scientific information if you think that information is going to help inform purchasing decisions. It's probably a legal question whether or not that there's the authority to impose restrictions on one actor and not impose restrictions on other actors, or impose restrictions based on who is engaging in the speech. I think there are really, constitutional questions here on whether or not the commercial speech is protected, and I think we need to resolve that. We haven't resolved that question, and it sort of hangs out there. But ultimately, it's probably a regulatory issue, whether or not we want to be able to allow companies, at the very least, to be able to engage in promulgating the results of scientific studies to people who are in purchasing capacities, people who are on P&T committees, who sit on formularies, who need to make decisions about the relative value of different products, and bring into that equation economic information, comparative judgments around competing products, one which might be more expensive than another. People who are in that position, I think, are going to benefit from being able to hear the totality of the information and not just hear the information coming from one actor versus information coming from another actor. The reality is everyone who's going to be putting information into that environment probably has a point of view. And if they have a point of view, they have a motivation for putting information into that environment. And I don't think that the motivation of someone who's trying to reduce utilization and reduce costs from a government standpoint is any different than someone who's trying to incentivize a doctor or a P&T committee to use a certain drug because it's their commercial product.